this world, it is difficult to avoid sufferings brought on by adverse circumstances. It is possible to hide for a while, but not for the entire lifetime. When death approaches, how looming in front are the hurdles that were to be crossed over in the past, and the immense agony caused by the collapse of physical body. The human body consists of 4 elements: earth, fire, water, and wind, which will disintegrate when death approaches, and all kinds of sufferings will break out currently and spread all over the body. Normally, just a single affected part will cause great pain, let alone when the whole body is struck by illness. At this point, if the dead didn't have either a peaceful mind resulting from upholding precepts and virtuous conduct during his lifetime, when facing sufferings, he is likely to generate intense evil thoughts. Fear, hatred, greed, and regret will attract him to an even more vicious journey of transmigration. However, what is greatly deceptive is that the consciousness of dying is struggling with extreme pain, but the outward appearance looks as peaceful as deceased. We've forgotten the dead cannot express feelings or controlling his collapsing body, no matter how painful he is. As to where he will be reborn thereafter, there is not even a clue to the ordinary people. The Buddha counseled the livings that they may truly live their life only if they could break the problems of death into smaller parts and resolve one by one while still living. Now the traveling wind is blocking our way, waiting to be crossed. Wind appears to be a natural phenomenon, which is actually caused by the karma of living beings. The real source of wind exists right in our mind. To stop wind, restrain mind first. To restrain mind, control body first, starting from improving the endurance of body. Violent wind slashes faces, causing numbness and sharp pain. Steps with heavy burden totter from side to side. Bodies seem to be immersed under icy water and followed by piercing cold, just like a shadow all over the body. It punctures our illusion of enjoying life's and insensitivity to impermanence. Thus, we don't fall asleep easily on the path of cultivation or linger over the scenery along the way unknowingly. The Buddha says that the feeling of suffering arises and ceases according to conditions. It is merely the gathering and vanishing of karmic causes, and these causes are produced by the mind. By practicing walking meditation, perceiving and overcoming the physical sufferings, separate the mind from painful feelings, so as to stay the mind like an immovable rock standing still in the wind. By having approached calmly the edge of physical limit, it will be clarified and believed that there is no limit at all. It is what we build, an invisible prison for ourselves with a glass wall of mind. Even the body is also simply produced by innumerous and obstinate thoughts emerging and vanishing repeatedly. Within it, there is no real self that is suffering. In order to pursue happiness, we have spent countless time and lives. However, we still refuse to meekly submit and always fight with our utmost to protect the self when confronting misfortune. Little it is understood that the root cause of present life is our thoughts in the past. Good is rewarded with good, and evil with evil. Mindfulness without discrimination would lead to nirvana. Whether happiness or suffering, all is produced by the mind. Therefore, looking for a reason from externals is out of all reason. Escaping from sufferings is like playing hide and seek with mind. Where could we hide anyway with the sufferings? The only way is to train the mind to be immovable under all circumstances, which could cure completely the sufferings of mind and attain the ultimate happiness. Practicing Dhutanga is to shake off the hindrance arising from craving abundant and quality provisions, such as clothing, food, shelter, and transportation. For instance, the robes of monks are merely for the basic needs of covering the body and keeping warm, just like wild cranes soaring with freedom. Dwelling in the wind at the moment is another kind of ease without possessing states. The discomfort resulting from the initial phase of Dhutanga practice is like the inertia of an old addiction which needs to be overcome. However, the wisdom of liberation will emerge during the walking meditation from a pure and contented mind. Furnishing compassion, practicing Dhutanga, and crossing over all sentimental beings are the fundamental requirements of the Bodhisattva precepts, and are also the greatest compassion and wisdom of the Buddha for his disciples of later generations. The Dhutanga practice of constantly keeping content and collecting mindfulness is exactly walking meditation. The sutra says, to keep mindfulness as precepts, walking meditation is the conduct of precepts in walking. Precepts and the Dhutanga practice originate in the absolute reality, based on which the truth of the world would be clarified through it. Recitations of the precepts must be conducted every half a month based on the Buddha's rules. Self-examination and repentance on any conducts against precepts should apply. The location of recitation should be remote from roads and residency, such as harvested cornfield. It is appropriate to prevent any potential seeing or hearing from ordinary people. The unordained are forbidden to watch or listen to the recitation. Do not level the ground or destroy things, but use the vacant space only to avoid stealing or slander. Precepts are the root of unsurpassed body, which should be sincerely abided by. Cross over oneself by crossing over others. The cultivation is solid if precepts apply, otherwise all is in vain. A great boundary must be established before reciting precepts in the wild. Mark a proper location to ensure that Dharma activities can be carried on smoothly, and let it be guarded by good protectors and apart from evil demons. Purifications must be conducted to both body and mind. novices reciting 10 precepts, and the bhikkhus reciting the bhikkhu precepts and the bodhisattva precepts. They should be isolated from each other. Sharp wind, cold day, and dusty head. The ease and contempt of Dhutanga practices will greatly shrink people's delusion. The comprehensiveness of precepts would remove the evil part of delusion. At last, delusion could be eradicated completely through walking meditation, since delusion is exactly mental discrimination. When the recitation of precepts is over, revoke the great boundary and leave. Witnessing the absolute reality could keep the tranquil mindfulness under all circumstances, even if when death approaches. To be reborn in good places or enter into nirvana entirely depends on the depth of tranquility. Prior to witnessing the absolute reality, our mind is just like a leaf, turning withered and yellow after green, confronting the strong influence of worldly eight winds: benefit, recession, defamation, praise, ridicule, admiration, sorrow and joy. It is difficult for us not to drift alone and roam between birth and death. The sutra says, all living beings are like the roots of the Bodhi tree, and the Bodhis and Bodhisattvas are the flowers and fruits. Benefit and nourishing living beings with the water of great compassion would thus mature the blossoming and fruitful wisdom of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Constantly crossing living beings is the real source of our effort. From the 10 precepts and the bhikkhu precepts, warning not to harm other living beings, until the discovery of the bodhisattva precepts that all living beings are of identical nature, the driving force to go forward is in a steady stream. Stepping along the way guided by the precepts will open people's mind and absorb obstacles and transform them into energy, even under all difficult circumstances. Look at the windmill. It will always turn round and round as long as there is wind.